British-provided NLAW anti-tank system turning the tide in Ukraine. Scrappy NLAW anti-tank missiles have the punch to eliminate Russian tanks. The next-generation light anti-tank weapon, NLAW, was provided by the British before the war in January. The Ukrainians are setting up counter-attacks and ambushes in the suburbs of Kyiv on Russian armored columns using the NLAW. The NLAW system is proving its mettle. Since the NLAWs came over before the war started, they were able to be distributed widely to soldiers, and the Ukrainians are taking the initiative to blast Russian armor. Watch out for NLAW ambushes. The Visegrad Group 24 news outlet reported on March 2 that the Russians tried to advance in the Kyiv suburb of Baka under the cover of darkness. According to Visegrad Group 24, the Ukrainians used the NLAW in an ambush that laid waste to Russian tanks and other vehicles. You can see a photo of the destruction here. The British set the example. The United Kingdom sent 2,000 NLAWs to the Ukrainians on January 19 and most importantly, the military sent trainers to prepare the Ukrainians for their use. The defending forces are singing the weapons' praises. Ukrainian fighters are thankful. According to the Daily Mail, whose reporters visited the front 50 miles north of Kyiv, Lieutenant Colonel Ihor Bezogluk exclaimed, "God save the Queen." Bezogluk also said the NLAW is a game changer. The officer continued with his praise. "Thank you to Great Britain for giving us the NLAWs. Anything that can help us to defend our country is very well received. These missiles have changed the war for us. It means we can fight the Russians and it doesn't matter how many of them there are now that we have a way of stopping their armor. The Russians cannot scare us with numbers anymore." What is the NLAW? The NLAW is a light shoulder-fired weapon with excellent portability that allows the operator to also carry a rifle. The launcher weighs around 27.5 pounds and is easy to fire. It shoots a surprisingly powerful 150 mm high-explosive anti-tank missile. The NLAW can take out a tank or vehicle between 20 and 400 meters for moving targets, and up to 800 meters for stationary vehicles. NLAW is easy to use. Operators just have to look through the sight, line up the target, and hold for 3 to 5 seconds before firing. Then the predicted line of sight, inertial navigation and guidance system takes over and the rocket blasts out of the tube at 440 miles per hour. So, it's fire and forget. Like the Javelin, the NLAW can target the top of a tank's turret where the armor is usually the weakest part. Operators just aim 1 meter above the tank and the downward-shaped charge does the rest. One disadvantage of the NLAW is that it is, one shot one kill. Operators get only one missile to hit pay dirt, then the tube is disposable. That's why the British and other countries that have NLAWs will have to send more. NLAWs are also not cheap at $40,000 a unit. Perfect for dismounted fighters who can hide in buildings. The NLAW has many combat advantages and infantry units do not have to change tactics that much. Regular Army Ukrainian soldiers can hide in bunkers, trenches, or in buildings to allow unsuspecting Russian tanks to enter a kill zone where they will catch fire from the anti-tank weapon. Many soldiers will likely opt to shoot from atop buildings for a better downward angle against Russian armored vehicles. Another advantage is that their ease of use can be taught to less experienced reserve territorial defense fighters. The Ukrainians are already engaging in suburban residential street-to-street fighting and expect more of this urban combat in the future as the Russians conduct assaults into the surrounded cities. The NLAW will be one weapon that the Russians have to deal with that will bring terror to many tank crews. Moscow, March 5. TASS. The Russian troops delivered a strike with precision weapons to destroy a large depot with Javelin and NLAW anti-tank missile systems in Zhytomyr, Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Major General Igor Konashenkov said on Saturday. In the past 24 hours, a strike was delivered with long-range precision weapons to destroy the ammo depot on the territory of a military unit in Zhytomyr where Javelin and NLAW anti-tank missile systems were kept, the spokesman said. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced on February 24 that in response to a request by the heads of the Donbas republics he had made a decision to carry out a special military operation in Ukraine in order to protect people who have been suffering from abuse and genocide by the Kiev regime for 8 years. The Russian leader stressed that Moscow had no plans of occupying Ukrainian territories and the operation was aimed at demilitarizing and denazifying Ukraine. When clarifying the developments unfolding, the Russian Defense Ministry reassured that Russian troops are not targeting Ukrainian cities, but are limited. Russian tanks have been destroyed by weapons provided by the UK, it has been confirmed. Speaking in the UK capital, Ukraine's ambassador to London Vadim Prystaikos said the anti-tank weaponry provided by the UK, known as NLAW, Next Generation Light Anti-Armor Weapon, had been used to help the state defend itself against Russian forces. However, he said people are dying as we speak in the pushback against Russia, and Ukraine needed something which only NATO can provide. At this moment, we have enough people, we don't have enough equipment, he said. We should have started to prepare much earlier, maybe decades ago. That's why we've been trying to get into NATO, for all these years because we always believed this would come. Defense Minister James Heappey told MPs that the government would explore options to support the Ukrainians themselves over the next few days but added NATO troops should not play an active role in the country because of the risk of miscalculation leading to existential threat. Mr. Heappey added that 1,000 UK troops are on standby to support Hungary, Slovakia, Romania and Poland with the expected humanitarian challenges that they will face as people make their way out of Ukraine. He explained that troops could not realistically be sent into Ukraine itself, in a similar fashion to last summer's Afghanistan evacuation, as NATO personnel could get caught up in combat with Russian forces in a highly kinetic scenario, potentially leading to huge escalation. Sam Cranny Evans, a research analyst at the Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, said the NLAW is accurate out to 600 meters, potentially has a reach of up to 1 kilometer and it can be fired from within quite confined spaces. He also added that while we know that the Russian forces do like to use lots of armor and lots of artillery, they also combine their initial offensive forces with rotary wing aviation. RAF F-35 Lightning aircraft have joined NATO's enhanced vigilance patrols for the first time, an operation started in response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The activity ensures policing of the skies over NATO member states. Lightning jets from RAF Marham have taken part alongside Typhoon aircraft from RAF Koningsby and RAF Akrotiri. Royal Air Force combat aircraft are conducting patrols of NATO airspace over Poland and Romania. The planes have been refueled mid-air by RAF Voyagers from Brize Norton, enabling them to travel further. Station Commander RAF Marham said, "The F-35 is an incredibly capable and versatile aircraft. Operating alongside the Typhoons to maintain the integrity of the European airspace and contribute to the NATO mission, the fifth-generation fighter is a world-beating fighter aircraft which can simultaneously provide information warfare, intelligence gathering and air-to-air missions."